Shalom. Alright, so let's so happy season. Let's check this out. Alright. Just got a notification. There you go. Just make sure it sound good. Just every time I like to check, make sure it sound okay. Just got a notification. There you go. Alright, yeah, we good. Notification. There you go. Just every time I like to check, make sure it sound okay. Yeah, we good. Alright, so Shalom, shalom. Alright. I'll start off by saying Barakathon, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Right, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shout out to the whole elect, stone on down there for over 1,000. Shalom. Alright, so title of the lesson is this title, Begin to Visit the World, which he has made, right? And this title lesson came to me through the Spirit, because this morning, practice in the morning, whatnot. On the way to practice, I was watching a video Elder Mazakbot did, and it was titled, bear with me, it was titled, Notice Page is GMS, South Carolina '08, right? It was titled The Charlie Kirk Assassination and Perplexity. Tonight, okay. And the perplexity coming on Earth, right? And that word perplexity, right? I was going to say the word perplexity real fast. This is just a quick definition. Right, the word perplexity is right. It's an ability to deal with or understand something complicated or unaccountable, right? In a tangled state, right? So it just means like it's confusing, right? Confusion, right? And there's a lot of confusion going on. A lot of people lost, man. You know, and when I'm talking about, right, you know, you've been all over the internet with the as the title of the apostle Elder Mazaba, as I meant to say, you know, the Charlie Kirk situation. You know, there's been a lot of I didn't really look into it deeply, but I seen in his video it was also clips showing a professor was stabbed at Auburn University. But I also been seeing on the internet. I also seen it for myself. I didn't really like read on it a lot, but you know, a Edomite woman, so-called white woman, she was stabbed on the bus, train, one of them, whatnot, you know, by Jake, right? But it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of things going on. It's causing a lot of confusion, causing a lot of uproar, causing a lot of, you know, problems, right? And then with this Charlie Curtis, or whatever his name is, right? It's like, you know, not to, you know, do too much about it, not YouTube is, no, you know, that whatnot. But the point is, right, you know, it's causing a lot of, you know, chaos, right? You know, it's creating chaos, right? And you know, this is well as Apostle Elder Mazakbot, right? As you saying, right, you know, you never know how them devils are twisted, man. You know how them devils twisted, because I was on Twitter, matter of fact, I screenshot this morning. I was going to go into this lesson, I screenshot this morning, right? Somebody posted on Twitter, right, it said they can't even blame black people, right, so-called black people, or Judah, right, they can't even blame black people this time, damn, right? And somebody commented, right, it says, it said they are celebrated, right? So you know they're our accusers, right? Let's go to that real fast. What's it, Revelation? Revelation 12 and 9, right? But they're our accusers, man. Right? They always accusing us. They're always trying to paint the bad narrative on Jake. Always trying to paint the bad narrative on people. Which, you know, Jake ain't just holy out here, you know what I'm saying? Just, but at the same time, Esau used that to turn that to, you know, execute what they want to do. But ultimately, you know, how I was looking at it spiritually, right? You know, if you understand the signs, you understand things going on, it's gonna be perilous times in the last days. And understand that, you know, that's judgment, man. right? As judgment. Because even if you watch the guy videos, which I've seen a few, like you know how the internet is, they post things he said, TikTok or whatnot. You know, he be coming down hard on Jay. He be coming down hard on. You know, he's a he loved America was just Babylon. He's a patriot, right? As it would say, right? He's a patriot. He speaks down, you know, on you know on the nation of Israel, right? Specifically, right? Specifically, you know, tribal Judah, which is the so-called American blacks or African Americans, right? You know, he talked a lot about him. You know, he got a lot of big boy talk, right? But you know, it's you know, at the end of the day, you know that's judgment, right? And when the Most High bring that judgment, you know, it is understanding that hey, you know, you reap what you sow, right? You reap what you sow, man. But the point in the lesson I was going to go into, right? I'm gonna read this real fast, right? Revelation 12 and 9, right? This is sloppy, not 12 in verse 9. Sloppy, verse 10, Revelation 12 and 10, right? It says, and I heard a loud voice. I heard a loud voice. He said, I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of Mashiach. For the but it said in the power of his in the power of in the power of his Mashiach, right? For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night, right? And you know that's the you know so-called white man Edomites, right? They accuse their accuser, right? They paint this image on them whatnot, voodoo, you know, but that's what they do, right? They continue to blame stuff. They continue to flip stuff, flip the narrative on Jake, make Jake be the bad guy, make Jake be the evil guy, right? Trying to paint us as the evil ones, right? You know, which are they are the wicked, right? Trying to paint us as wicked. You know, and you have a lot of 2/3 who are lost, but ultimately the Most High, right, take the wicked as Jake before he take the Edomites, right? Because Jake is wicked and fall because he followed the ways of Esau Edom. Right? Once he repent, turn back to Yahweh outside, his word will cleanse him. But Jake is caught up in the ways of Esau Edom. Matter of fact, let's go to Proverbs real fast. Proverbs, I said that's 12 and 20, yeah, 12 and 26, right? It says the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, right? As I was saying, the Most High take any wicked Jake before he take Esau Edom, the Edomite. They're wicked, they're born wicked. Strange from the room speak lies, really paraphrase, right? It says, but the way of the wicked seduces them. The way of the wicked, Esau Edom, that's the way that Jacob caught up in, right? Esau used that against him, right? And they're gonna try to use this to push laws or whatnot. They try to use this to push laws, push martial law, push all these different things, right? Try to create as a narrative of, you know, they have their own agenda, but ultimately it's all the will of how about what he said, right? But as I was saying, right, the point is, right, we're going to the lesson, right, is, you know, it's showing you you know, it's perilous times coming, right? Matter of fact, let me go to that real fast. First Timothy 3, it's like 2 Timothy 3 and verse 1, it says, it says, this know also that in the last days perilous times have come. Perilous means dangerous. So in the last days, dangerous times are going to come, man. And if you understand, we're in the last days of this kingdom. Right? We're in the last days of this kingdom. And that situation with the guy, with the Charlie Kirk guy, is just showing you, man, hey, it's a civil war coming, right? It's prophecy. It could be a civil war coming, man. It could be a civil war ready to pop off right here in America today, man. Right? You know, with the you know the two horns, the Democrat and the Republic, right? But that's what you understand. It's all prophecy. It's all things that Yahweh said. The Most High sealed these instructions. And I mean, here the Most High put the instructions. The Most High put that left hand spirit on that whoever shot the guy to go do that today. It's all prophecy, not today, but yesterday or whatnot. But it's all prophecy. What Yahweh said, right? He used those spirits to get things done, but also they get prophecy done to get things fulfilled, right? You know, this could lead to this, could lead to that. And then martial law come, all type of things, right? Jake control could come in. It's a lot of things that could transpire behind situations like this, and how Esau could try to twist it, and try to make it twisted on Jake, or try to push or twist it to get order within America, right? Which they already in control of America. We know how they try to push everything else, force the chip, force a lot of things, do a lot of things to try to make this situation, as if everybody has involvement in it, which we don't, right? But you already have the situation. You already have the controversy, the difference with the Democrat and Republicans, how they don't agree, how they go each other. That's why the guy ended up being shot. He was a Trump supporter, right? And I'm not. Let me see. Trump is a part of the Republican Party, right? So speaking of that, let's go to Isaiah 19, and I read verse 1 and 2, right? What it really pointed in verse 2, right? But it says, a burden of Egypt, right? Now I was just about to say Elder Apostle Tuhar, Elder Apostle Bar, treatments they did, was this almost 2 weeks ago. Now, they did on August 30th, right? And I was going back and rewatching and whatnot, right? And talking about how it's a burden because, America's going to be destroyed, and this Egypt this Israel is referring to is America. That burden is Yahweh sent Yahweh shot those angels, those chariots, those missiles, all these things are going to come to America, and it's going to burn this place. It's going to be a burden to this place, right? It's going to destroy this place, right? This place is going to be that lake of fire, that lake of fire it talks about in Revelation. This is hell right here. With some Christian side, like you're gonna go to a place and burn for 50. No, this place is gonna burn, right? And the people who caught up in this place, the other nations, right? The wicked 2/3, they're going to burn right along with this place. And the 2/3 will be brought back into the kingdom but through the elect seed, right? But it says, this is the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord, Yahweh, is all cap, right? It says the Lord, all caps, somebody how, behold, the Lord, Yahweh, rides upon a swift cloud. Swift cloud is a chariot, right? It shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, right? How you come into Egypt? Are you going to see Yahweh Shah? And the angels, they're going to come in those chariots, right? And they're going to bring destruction to this place, right? It says, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of those missiles, people being burned, people dropping dead. You've seen the missiles come down, man, right? It's going to be a destruction coming on this place, right? And once again, Egypt is America, right? Egypt was the spirit of America, Revelation 11:8, right? You know, the streets line, the people, the body line, the streets of a great city, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, right? Sodom because why? It's a lot of homosexuality is accepted here, a lot of iniquity going on here. Egypt, why? Exodus 20:2, right? The house of bondage, because we're enslaved here, we're in slavery here, right? And you know that Esau, Edom, they're the modern day Egyptians, right? So the point right here is in verse 2, right? But it says, Isaiah 19:2 says, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. That's that Democrat Republic part of the Civil War, right? And things like this can spark that. That's why you gotta, and the point of the lesson, right? I got a title, where I would begin to visit the world, which he made, right? You gotta have the spirit. How about y'all? You gotta pay attention to the signs. This is why, matter of fact, this is Matthew 16, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 1, right? It says the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came intently, desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven, right? He answered, said to them, right? So he tempted him that he can that he can show them a sign, right? It says he answered, said to them, see how I talk is in red. It said, when it is evening, you say it'll be fair weather, for the sky is red, and in the morning it'll be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the signs of the times, right? So you got to see the signs of the times of things that's going on, man, right? Once again, understand through the spirit, probably how about Yahweh Shai, death is ultimately judging, man, right? And we know that Yahweh Shai, bear with me. It's the book of John 5, right? In verse, see where it start. Verse 19, right? I'll start verse 19, right? It says, then answered Yahweh Shai said to them, verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he sees the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these also the Son likewise, because everything that Yahweh Shai is doing, Yahweh set for it to be done, right? It says, it's like, excuse me. it says, "For the Father loves the Son and showeth him all things that Himself doeth." Right, that's why your house shall know everything except for when for their Lord, when the Most High is going to return and whatnot. Right, he said it in Acts. Right, it's not for nobody knows the times but the Father. Right, but he said He will show him greater works than these that ye may marvel. He said, "For as the Father raiseth the dead, quickeneth them, even so the Son quickeneth whom He will." Right, and that's that Spirit. Right? Quicker than you can come alive spiritually, right? Because if you're in His day, you're true, right? It's like if you're in the truth, you're dead, right? And that Spirit, that Comforter, which how shall I pray to the Father leave us, right? They're kakadash, right? It says the point right here is in verse 22, right? It says, "For the Father judges no man, but has committed all judgment to the Son." Understanding that, as I said earlier, right? The Father and the Son are on the same page. Whatever the Father says is what the Son get done, right? So it was judgment. It was judgment being brought upon it. Judgment being brought upon it. But those left hand spirits on that person, whoever did what he did, right, and executed judgment for you. How about you, outside? Executed vengeance for you. How about you, outside? This is where Isaiah 51 to talk about how the Most High put His spirit on Jake to go execute judgment on another Jake. He put that spirit on him to go execute. That's all the Most High vengeance. It's all the Most High. He put it on him to get that done. Just well with him, right? But also understanding these are the signs, these are times and signs and things that's showing you that we're getting closer and closer to the end, right? Because as you see, this right here is starting to upward. You see all the things on Twitter. You see the people. Elder Mazaba was showing a video of a guy he's raising out things and whatnot. This right here is causing uproar. It's causing problems within, right? Let's see if we can. Let's see something real fast. I put on AI. I put on AI I said Charlie Kirk was a Democrat or Republican, right? It says Charlie Kirk was a prominent conservative activist and commentator, not a Democrat. As the co-founder of Turning Point USA, he was staunch and influential supporter of former President Donald Trump. Right, Donald Trump is the president right now. I don't know why I said former. And the Republican Party populist movement. Kurt is fairly shot to Democrat. He's basically, it says a strong ally of Donald Trump who helped galvanize support for the Make America Great Again, the MAGA movement among young voters, right? So basically, he's a Republican because Trump is part of the Republican Party, right? Trump's part of the Republican Party, right? So you're gonna have the Republicans getting mad, but you got the Republican and Democrats going against each other, right? And probably it probably was not to give too much in it, right? Because I don't get caught up in Esau business or whatnot, but it's probably a Democrat who did what he did, right? And things like that started different. It starts sedition among men, right? Uproars, right? Which we were told in these last days that was going to happen, right? We understand, right? The spirit of Yahweh Shai is here, right? The spirit of Yahweh Shai is here. That spirit, the mouth of the Lord is His prophet, and the Most High do nothing but reveal secrets to the prophet. So these spirit reveal things to the prophets to allow us to understand, right? To allow us to discern the times and see the things around us is going on. And we see things like this is going on, we understand that, hey, it's getting nearer and nearer where the Most High comes, because the Spirit is here, man. The Spirit is here. The Spirit is with the elect, right? The Spirit is within the elect, right? Within that Spirit being within the elect, man, that judgment going out or not, we able to discern the times and see the things that's going on. And these are things that Yahweh Shai that were told in the Bible, told us in the book. The prophets were down. The prophets prophesied since back then, right? These are things that was mentioned that was going to happen in the last days. To understand and prepare yourself to get ready. To understand that, hey, things are getting amped up, man. Things are getting closer and closer, right? But it continue reading on. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, and city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." Right, so that's the Republicans and Democrats, man. That's civil war, right? Because Esau, Edom is the modern day Egyptians, man, and they going at it. They gonna go at it, man. Right? They gonna be going at each other, right? And a kingdom divided. Let's see. I seen the brother Hadavi, right? He just did a lesson on that. I didn't get to watch it, but I seen him just that was title of his lesson, right? A nation divided. And even if you understand even if you understand it right in history, right, nothing new under the sun. This same thing would happen with, Rome. You had four emperors ruling Rome at one time. Why? Because they never got along amongst each other, right? Esau wicked. They slaughtered each other, man. Right? You've been seeing that going on for forever, man. Even since the back in, this is the revived Roman Empire now. Right? This made me think about the first this made me think about the first triumph, right? What they did, Julius Caesar, they ain't want him to rule, so what? They came against him. Brute E2, what he said to his friend, right? Meaning that's just basically meaning like, hey, you too, because he felt like he was getting stabbed in his back. Not why he like the literal meaning like someone crossed you or your friend did you wrong. He felt like he stabbed you in the back. That's why he said brute E2, talking to his friend like, damn, you too, you going against me too, right? This been going on amongst Esau. They've been going at it with each other, right? And this is the rise of empire, but this place has been going down here ever since it came back into rulership. Because they can't stand together. This kingdom was never going to be forever, man. This kingdom was never going to be forever. Most High put him in this was just so he could execute his the judgment, right? Most High put him in this so he could execute judgment on Jake, right? And that's why he allowed Jake to understand why he said, in the land of your captivity, you shall remember, right? This is mercy for us, right? And this is Esau's kingdom. This is what they were promised, the birthright, their birthright, right? But eventually, it was going to be taken away. Esau at the end of the world, Jacob was the beginning of that follow. This place was never going to last forever. So all these things going on is signs to show you that the Most High is getting ready to visit, because Yahushua is dealing with is the spirit of Yahushua is within his elect spiritually, right? And Yahushua is his spiritually. Eventually, he's going to come here physically, right? Because the spirit of Yahushua is amongst the elect, right? To allow us to understand these times, right? And then eventually, he's going to come in physically and get it done. Right now, he's giving us signs, giving us warnings, giving us things to prepare ourselves. Revelation 19:7, that the wife make herself ready for the marriage, really paraphrasing. Who's that wife? Marriage of the Lamb, really paraphrasing. Who's that wife? The elect. Who's that Lamb? Yahushua, because Yahushua is bringing destruction on this place, and he bringing he bringing destruction on this place, and he bring deliverance for the elect, right? So this is Mark 3:25 says that, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. This place is not gonna stand, man. Right? Because they've been divided. Even once again, going back then, man. Right? Esau, always was slaughtering each other, going against each other. Right? That's why Rome fell. Right? Because they had a lot of issues within. Right? Let's go to Matthew. Let me read another precept on that. It's Matthew's 12 and 25. Right? Sometimes where I want to start, right? I'll get straight to the point. Matthew 12 and 25, it says, Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself, it shall not stand, right? And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself, right? How shall then his kingdom stand? Because what? Right? What? Because what is Esau eating on? The physical sons and daughters of Satan, right? So if they're going against each other, how can this place stand? Because this is a wicked kingdom. This is their kingdom right here, man. And they're the physical sons and daughters of Satan, man. Right? This is their kingdom. This is their rulership right here. They're going against each other. Why do you think this kingdom right here is going to stand? So they're showing you that, hey, it's getting closer and closer time to that end, right? So let's go to Matthew. Let's go to Matthew 24 real fast, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 3, right? And it says, it says, and he sat on it's like he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? So he asked like, well, hey, what's gonna be the sign? What's gonna happen when you're ready to return? When this place is gonna fall, right? And we're gonna bring the kingdom of Yahushua, right? Because the elders was just talking about this in a lot of lessons I was watching. The street ministry, right? When they had camp, right? It was talking about this how back then they searched diligently, right? They was always looking, for the times when Yahushua come. They always was asking. And he was always telling them like, hey, you got to pay attention to the signs, right? And that's why it says Revelation 12:11 was like, one of my favorite precepts I quote a lot, right? It says you know, they should overcome him by the blood of the Lamb, the word of his testimony. In Revelation 19:10 tell you that, the testimony is the spirit of prophecy, right? And prophecy is the things prophetically that's going to happen. It's going those signs of the things that's going to happen is going to lead to the deliverance of the elect, right? It's going to lead to the this place going down. You got a lot of prophecy that's going to come to pass. A lot of prophecy that's in this book that the spirit of Yahweh allows us to understand, allows us to prepare ourselves, right? Give us a chance to prepare ourselves and get ready for things like this, right? The Spirit is on us to see these things, allow us to understand, right? So we can prepare ourselves, get ready for that marriage, that spiritual marriage, make it ready to be brought up, right? To the kingdom of power, Yahweh, right? But it says, Yahweh answered them and said to them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Right? You have these false prophets. You got Esau deceiving a lot of Jake, right? Run around JC, Jesus, whatnot, right? A lot of people have been deceived, right? We're seeing that happen, right? It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet come. So all these things have to happen. Wars, rumors of wars. We've been hearing rumors of war. We seeing Israel doing these things, bombing these things. You seen all these things come to pass. You seen all these things happen. See Esau, they're gonna try to profess there's nothing going on. They shall say peace and safety, the son of destruction comes, right? Right? So that's why you gotta be on your watchtower. You gotta be on point, right? Let's go there real fast, right? Habakkuk 3, right? Because it's plain to the holy, but it's stumbling block to the wicked, man. You gotta be on your watchtower, right? This is Habakkuk 2, right? In verse 1, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Right? The Most High, he should apply the prophets through the Spirit that will teach it unto the sincere men is truth. Right? That Spirit. So we set upon that watchtower to you. How about Shah? He reveal things to us. Right? So we're searching. Elder Apostle Hart, Elder Apostle Word is talking about this. The Israelites, specifically GMS. Right? Elder Apostle Hart on down. Right? Going to prophecy a lot. Going to things coming to pass. These are the signs. These are the things we're going to see that's showing us that we're getting closer and closer to the kingdom. Like, for instance, things of this such. Right? Ain't necessarily say, oh, such is going to get shot. And no, ain't things like that. You be ignorant, but you see that it's causing uproars. It's causing problems. It's bringing nation against nation. Right? It's bringing you got Egyptians against Egyptians. Right? It's bringing which is the Republican and Democrat Party. Right? This is Esau Edom, because once again, Esau Edom is the modern day Egyptians. Right? You're seeing uproars of people. You're seeing a lot of chaos going on. You're seeing dangerous times. Man talking, that's you just get slapped in the neck in a crowd full of people, man. Right? Let's see. Why was it Salakia? Oh, Matthews 24, right? Verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. They shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. You shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake, man. And we seeing that happen, man. Right? And we, like I was just saying earlier, right? They're our accuser, right? And you seen the post they on Twitter, oh, this and that, ooh, black this, black that, right? The black people, they're trying to twist it. They're trying to transpire to a whole nother thing and try to exalt martial law, try to exalt, oh, everybody got to take the chips so we can know where they are. They can use, they're trying to, Esau Edom is crafty, man. Right? It says when it says in Genesis 3, right? They're more subtile. Let's go into that word. Let's go to that real fast. It says they're more subtile, right? Genesis 3, right? It says, now the serpent, right? Which we know that serpent is Esau Edom, because that serpent was a melanin man, right? He had an evil spirit upon him, which later came through Cain, came out later, the flood came back to Esau Edom, right? Matter of fact, let's go right here, right? Bear with me. Let's go to Psalms 58. Let's go to Psalm 58, right? In verse 3, right? It says, the wicked, which we know are the Edomites, right? Malachi 1-4, right? The wicked, right? The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they're born, speaking lies, right? It says their poison is like the poison of a serpent, they are the death of the outer ear that stop with. They're like the death adder that stop with their ears. So they're like that they're like the poison. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. A serpent from the garden, because that's what they are, man. The devil, man. Right? That's what they are, man. The devil, the physical sons, daughters of Satan, man. The devil, man. Right? That serpent, man. You know, it's another precept in Revelation that just came to my mind real fast. Bear with me. Uh, Yep, right here. I was just at it, right? It was in 12, right? And that dragon, right? That dragon, right, is the Edomites. That's why in the scriptures, verse 12, because it's the great red dragon. You know, Edom means red, right? That's why they named it Esau Edom, right? Esau Edom, right? Because they came out red all over, right? That's why he ate the red pies and whatnot. The scripture said the name changed to Edom, but when they came out red all over, meaning they blood showing forth through their skin, and that's a fit description, or that's a identification of the wicked, because when Miriam, right, Moses' sister, when Aaron said he looked upon her, he said she was white as snow. When the Most High cursed her with leprosy, he took her melanin away, right? So Esau, they melanin was stripped from him, right? That's why you get so called white, right? But that's a fit description, or that's a identification of the wicked, right? But so it says, and the great dragon, was Esau Edom, was cast out, that old serpent called the devil. And Satan was deceiving the whole world. He was cast out to earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Right? So that's that serpent, the devil, man, was deceiving the whole world. We know that's Esau Edom. Right? Shalom. Shalom, somebody. That's it, shalom. Right? But that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil. Right? Esau Edom, right? So we go back to as I was saying, right? You have Esau there trying to transpire this event into, because they're crafty, cunning, right? So let's read Genesis 3:1 real fast. It said, "Now the serpent was more subtle or subtile, right, than any beast of the field, to Lord Yahweh by saying how Shah had made," right? And so we're gonna go to this word, right? Subtle, which is the Greek word arum.
Strong's H 6175. Arum.
Arum, right?
Arum.
So it says.
Second entry.
Oh, slacky.
Arum.
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 Arum, right? So it says subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible, crafty, shrewd, sensible, prudent, right? Prudent, a prudent man means he think, right? Prudent, acting with or showing care or thought. Or they wise, right? They think, right? That's why the scripture say you gotta be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, right? You gotta be. That's why you gotta be a wise time. You gotta be sober. You gotta be on point. Because events like this, like I was saying, Esau was trying to twist it, transpire into a whole other thing. But we understand these perilous times, these things are gonna go on. These things are gonna go on because Esau, don't know they got a short time. Relation 12:12. Esau know their time running out. Esau know this kingdom falling, man. Right? They know it. They try their best to keep it composed, try to keep it cool, right? But they know this kingdom is falling. They know this kingdom is going down, man. Right? But it says cunning, usually in a bad sense, crafty, prudent, subtle, right? So they're more subtle than any beast of the field. So you gotta be on point, man. You gotta be on point, right? Because Esau, on that crafty, man, right? And once again, right? Hey, these signs, and these things. That's why. Let me go to it, right? First Thessalonians 5, right? Let's see. I'm gonna start at verse 4. Just really get to the point where it says, "But ye brethren are not in darkness, that the day of the Lord shall overtake you as a thief. You are the children of the light and children of the day. We are neither night nor darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others." That sleep just meaning that dead state of mind. It's spirit of sleep, right? We on that watchtower. We paying attention. We doing the works, right? We paying attention to things like this. These signs, these things are showing you that, hey, it's getting closer and closer to the time of Yahweh shall return to this place. Right? These signs, these uproars, right? Let's go to let's see. Let's go to Second Ezra. We go to Second Ezra now. I'm gonna go to Second Ezra 15 real fast, right? Right. This is verse 14. This is a precept that the Elder Mazak brought out as well. His lesson I watched earlier as well, right? But it says I'm gonna start at verse 14, right? It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draw nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and the swords in their hands." Right? You know, the modern day swords are those guns, man. Modern day swords is those guns, right? You know, and when I put my notes earlier when I was at a my Zotba lesson, right? He was saying, right now you feeling that racial tension, man. Are you feeling that racial tension, man? They're gonna try their best to try to flip everything to get their agenda out. Esau got their tricks and they thing, but also means all the will of Yahweh Shah. Right? You know the Most High seals destruction when men sleep. The Most High seals destruction in their mind. Right? Job 33, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Job 33 it talks about that. Right? But you know, hey, you feeling that tension. Right? They gonna try their best to try to twist it, but these are the signs. These are the things when Yahweh Shah cussed out those scribes and Pharisees and telling them you can't discern these things. These are the signs and wonders that Yahweh Shah told us He would show us for us to be on our watchtower to be on point. Right? What is that? Matter of fact, quick little piece of reference. I'm gonna go back to that, but it's John 4 and 48, right? This is John 4:48. It said, "Then said Yahweh to him, except you see signs and wonders, you believe not," right? Because these things are going to show, right? And you're gonna have Jake trying to run in now, like, "Hey man, hold up, man. Hey, what's that name y'all was calling on?" And it was the brothers did the brothers at camp at Apostle Rome, like the lesson on it, about how the brother was at camp and people and dude was talking like, "Oh, y'all was right, man. Y'all was right." You're gonna have a lot more of that. Because these signs, these things, all these things that the prophets, the apostles, the assistant men, how about I've been teaching and been prophesying over the years, right? Now these things starting to come to pass, right? But we have the mercy of how about we on the good side of the movie that we've been seeing like the bad guy for so long, right? Now we're on the good side of the movie to where these things start to come to pass. Now they're starting to see, right? But now we're just preparing ourselves more and more through that spirit to get ready, right? Because as a title lesson, right now is getting to the time where the Lord will begin, Lord visit the world which He made, right? So that's the second Ezra. Then we go to second Ezra, chapter 9, right? So verse 16, right, says, "For there shall be a sedition among men." Let's go into that word sedition, right? And we even seen this when you know Trump was trying to deport people. We seen sedition, we seen uproar, we seen people going crazy or whatnot. And these things are common things. We've seen these things. What Yahweh Shah told us in the last days, these things will happen. We've seen these things more and more often now, man. So you got to be on point, man, right? Sedition, right, is the conduct or speech, right, inciting people to rebel against authority of state or monarch, right? So you seeing that, man. This man getting shot, right? You got people on Twitter going crazy, people crying out, you got people acting like, you know what I'm saying? People going crazy behind the situation, man, right? So this shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, the course of their action, but stand their power, right? That's civil war, man. Right, civil war, you're gonna have people ain't paying attention to what the law is saying, what the president saying, what the police saying. They just gonna be out here wild and doing whatever, man. Right? It says a man should desire to go to another city, he should not be able. That's that martial law, man. Right? But that's all I want to read now. We go to second Ezra 9, right, before we close it down. I would say this precept for the end specifically, man. Because when I was even going to this lesson, right, I was thinking about this lesson, you know, all day before I was going into it, right? You know, since this morning, right? And I was thinking about second Ezra chapter 9, man. You know, the title, to use the title, right? He will begin to visit the world which He made came, you know, as I was going live, but Will let me think about this all day, right? So it's second Ezra 9, we started verse 1. He says, "He answered me then and said," right? You know, Ezra was having a lot of visions. Most High was showing Ezra a lot of things, right? So it said, he answered me, and then he said, "Measure thou the time diligently, right, in itself," right? So you gotta measure the time diligently within itself, right? What is that? Bear with me. Bear with me. Go to second Ezra 4 real fast. You gotta measure the time diligently, right? Because what it says, right, second Ezra 4 and verse 37 says, "By measure hath He measured the time, and by number hath He numbered the time. And He do not move nor store them until the said measure be fulfilled," right? So the process is going to happen. Jacob's trouble, world war, these things are going to happen. The things the Yahweh outside says are going to happen, they're going to happen, right? You wait on let to see the truth, and once they let to see the truth, boom, things are going to pop off. And we seeing signs, of one of the things getting into that mode now. Right? It's like It's like when you get closer and closer to a football game, you see, players starting to come out more. They out there scratching on the field and all that thing, get ready to play. That's how it is now. Hey, everything's getting warmed up. Everything is getting heated up right now, man. It's gonna be game time in a little bit, man. Right? So going back to 2 9, right? It says, he answered me then, it said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. Right? Measure the time diligently, man. You can't be out here just wild and doing whatever, man. You can't be out here just lollygagging, walking around, acting like things ain't going on, man. You gotta be in your watch time. You gotta be on point, right? It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, right? Knowing it's getting closer and closer to that time, man, right? It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So these things are been told unto us, right? But Jake ignored them, right? Jake ignored them, right? Quick precept real fast. When the Most High used Ezekiel as a sign, before the Babylonians came and took over Israel, he was telling them, like, hey, these things come to pass, these things gonna happen. But what Jake's saying, oh man, hey, we got time, man. These things ain't gonna happen yet, man. We got time to get right, right? So this is Ezekiel 12, and I start verse 22. It says, "Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying the days are prolonged and every vision fellow, right? 'Cause these visions ain't happened yet. Oh, this gonna happen, but it ain't happened yet, right? This gonna happen, but this ain't happened yet, right? That's what the Most High said, right? He said, tell them therefore, this saith the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease, and thou shalt no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, the effect of every vision, right? And this would end up leading to Jake going into captivity to Babylon, because why? They had paid attention to the sign, and the Most High he was using Ezekiel as a sign. He told Ezekiel, right? Right here, I'll read you Ezekiel 12 verse 6, right? It says, in their sight shalt thou bear it upon thy shoulders, and carry it forth in the twilight. He tell them to, hey, pack your stuff up as if like you're captive, you're going into captivity, right? Don't take couches, bed, and all that. Pack things up like you've been taken into captivity. Right, Ezekiel, I was like, well, what I'm doing this for, Lord? He telling her, right? In their sight shalt thou bear it upon thy shoulders, and carry it forth in the twilight, and thou shalt cover thy face, thou shalt not see the ground. For I have set thee for a sign to the house of Israel, but Israel never paid attention to the signs. So therefore, you gotta pay attention to the signs. You gotta measure the time diligently, man. Right? That's why the scripture said, right? You're not of darkness. The day of the Lord won't come to thief unto you, man. You'll be prepared, right? Of course, we don't know the times and whatnot, but when we see things pop off, we gonna understand what's going on, man. Jake walk in darkness, they grow darkness, they don't understand what's going on. We have the spirit, proud of Yahweh, we have the light of Yahweh, which is the understanding, right? This understanding this truth, this knowledge, understanding. The spirit of prophecy to be able to discern the time, to measure the time, to be on point, to be on that watchtower, right? 2 Ezra 9, right? Verse 4 again, right? It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and end, and the end is manifest. It says, even so the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works, and the ending and effects and endings and effects and signs, right? So these effects and these signs are happening, man, right? Verse 7 says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, right? And that's the elect, man. We're going to be able to escape America, right? The elect, they're going to overcome this place, right? For what? Paying attention to the signs, measure the time, diligently, stay on that watchtower, being on point through the spirit of power, Yahweh, closing themselves in the armor of Yahweh, right? Being humble under Yahweh, giving honor and glory unto him, right? So, good precept on the end right quick, just because that precept made me think of it, right? So this is right here, 2 Ezra 6 and 9, right? It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows, man. So this is the end of this kingdom, and the kingdom of Yahweh is coming, man. Right? So you got to be on point, man. You got to stay focused, right? So Lord willing, right? Hey, measure the time diligently, man, right? So the things that's going on, these are signs, these are effects that Yahweh showing the elect that, hey, is getting closer and closer to that, to that time coming, right? So with that being said, right, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000. Shalom.